It's not jealousy, essence. You think I'm jealous? Looks like it. Jealous of what? You and your fake relationship? Get off your high horse. Because you're miserable, I should be too? Or because your marriage is in shambles and I found love, that's the problem.
Hi, in this video, I'll be talking about the movie or series Alex from Oil and Gas, which I watched on African Magic, but is currently streaming on Showmax, so you can watch it there. So it is a gripping three-part series that takes us on a roller coaster ride of romance, deception, and shocking revelations. Let me give you the gist. Let me tell you what the movie is about. So we have these two sisters, Tamara and Tonye. So they are more like best friends. So Tonye is the younger sister, Tamara is the older sister. So Tamara is going through a separation, or she's about to get divorced from her husband. She's just fed up with the marriage because the man is very abusive and he's the worst partner ever. So she goes to stay at Tonye's place while she's trying to sort all that out. With that also happening, Tonye finds out that her boyfriend is cheating on her. So two of them are just going through relationship issues. But Tonye seems to bounce back from it very quickly because she gets into online dating. So she starts talking to this mystery guy, Alex, who she claims is the one. So this guy works in oil and gas, and she's head over heels in love with this guy. Like, they start talking to the point it seems like they're actually in a full-blown relationship. And her sister Tamara is very concerned because of the whole online dating. Nobody really puts their all into it, and she feels like her sister may get catfish, like maybe the person she's talking to is not who she thinks it is. So she's just very cautious and, warning her sister to be careful and everything. But Tonya is just living her best life. But she gets to find out that the guy she has been talking to, Alex, is not actually Alex. She finds out that it's one of her staffs, one of the junior staffs in the company she works at, which was just crazy because at her office, Tonya is a very strict, work oriented babe, like no nonsense babe, and she is full of herself. She looks down at the guys at the office because they don't really work, they just basically gossip about her on the group chat. If they're not gisting about trying to leave the country or their side gigs, like they don't really take their job seriously. So it was just very, very upsetting when she found out that the guy she was actually talking to is not who she thought she was. So yes, her sister was right, but that is just one of the things that happens in this movie. So with Tamara also like being very curious, like what's going on in her sister's life, since her sister doesn't want to introduce them to this her boyfriend, and she doesn't spend as much time as she does with her sister Tamara. So Tonya is always chatting on her phone. She's always very interested in what's going on in her boyfriend's life. She just neglects her sister completely, which of course hurts her feelings. So she either if it's not work, then she's talking to Alex. So Tamara got very upset about it. Then they had a little argument about it. Just coincidentally, Tamara just happens to go out one fateful day and she sees Alex, the Alex, because the picture the online guy Alex sent to Tonye, and she showed her sister the picture. So her sister knows what this Alex guy looks like or claims to look like. So when Tamara was out one day, I think at the restaurant, she sees this guy, Alex, with a random babe, like being very cuddly and being very, touchy feeling and all. So she was very upset that is it not her sister's boyfriend? Why would he be, fooling around with somebody else? So being like a very defensive sister, she went to confront the guy. And just imagine the guy was, of course, confused that I don't know who you're talking about. My name is not Alex, this, and it was just very, very embarrassing because the guy actually cleared his name, brought out his identification card. My name is Ishaya, I'm not Alex. Everything was just very, very crazy. So when Tamara found out about it, she wanted to, talk to Tonya about it. But Tonya kept lying that she was, talking to Alex. She's with Alex, one thing, Alex this, Alex that. So Tamara could not just understand why her sister would be lying about, this her Alex, and why her sister would not just come clean. So it was just like a very, very crazy time in their relationship because they never lied to each other about anything. So she just felt like her sister was pulling away from her and she just could not understand why. So that is the second thing that happens. Now, the third thing that happens in this series is that, okay, coupled with the fact that Tamara is trying to figure out what's going on, she's still dealing with, trying to divorce from her husband and, the whole emotional strain and everything. She just needs somebody to talk to. She needs somebody to be in her corner. And her sister isn't there at the moment. This new guy, the former Alex, who we actually get to know is Ishaya. So Ishaya and Tamara become friends. They become close. They start spending a lot of time together for somebody she could talk to. Now, of course, things would progress from there. So you can imagine like there's just a lot going on. So first off, Tonye is lying to her sister about her online boyfriend Alex. Secondly, Tamara finds out that the Alex she's chatting with happens to be her junior staff in the office. Thirdly, Tamara finds out that her sister has been lying about who she's in a relationship with. And fourth, Tamara starts, catching feelings for this Alex in oil and gas, who we get to find out is Ishaya. So it's just like there's a lot going on. There's a whole lot like craziness. That's like the gist, like the overview of the movie. So if you want to see it all like breakdown, like see the craziness of it all, go check it out on Showmax. So yeah, the executive producer of this movie is Uche Ikejimba, and it was directed by Uche Ikejimba and Amanze Abara. So for the actors in this movie, we have Tamara. So Tamara was played by Scarlet Gomez. I love Scarlet in any movie I see her. So I was so excited to see her in this movie. So she is the older sister, of course. She has been married to this guy for I've forgotten how many years exactly, but she was just at this point, she was at her breaking point. She was done. She just wanted to get out of that space, move on with her life, and just take care of her son essentially. So she was going through that, phase of her life where she was feeling lost and feeling like what is she going to do, if she's making the right decision and all of that. She acted this role very well, of course. We also get to see her sister Tonye, who was played by Detola Jones. Like, I'm a fan. Like, I love her. I love her movies. I love watching her in any movie. So unlike her sister, she is more, should I say, very cutthroat, very strict, very, straight to the point. She's a no nonsense babe. And she's very, very work oriented. Like, she has like a long term goal, long term plans in regards to her work. She wants to be able to, become the CEO of the company and, change, do a lot of like drastic changes in the company. She has like a good head on her shoulder. Business wise, she's very, very good. Now we had online dating things. So she falls in love with this guy, this persona, Alex, who she gets to find out is her staff, Nnamdi. So that transition was very, very weird for her because it was a very mean, very, very harsh, very blunt, boss. So she was somebody that would just talk you down. She didn't give you room to chip in your ideas. So she was just like a very, very cold boss. So I think guys in her team called her Cruella. So she just showed how she was, like her work persona was. But this guy Nnamdi was intrigued by her and wanted to have something to hold over her. So he started the whole online dating. But it was also interesting the dynamic of this their office romance. You get to see the character Claude, who is Tamara's ex-husband. He was played by Okey Uzoeshi. This guy was so annoying in this movie. Like, of course, he abuses her, hits her, abuses her physically, mentally. He's very shameless. Like, he doesn't do anything. Imagine this babe has left your house, but you're coming to disturb her in her sister's house that she should pay the house rent of the house you are living in. Like, it just shows how shameless this man is. But yes, he was a very, very, annoying man, and he did his thing in this movie. We get to see the guy Nnamdi, who was Tonya's love interest, her office romance guy, who was played by Obinna Okenwa. So I like was interesting, of course, seeing him in this movie. Like, he did really well. At first he was shy, quiet, timid stuff. Like, he had brilliant ideas, but he just did not know how to act. He was very like shy. He just wasn't very expressive, and he always looked very unkept, and he just looked like he was going through a lot basically. But I don't know, when he started, talking to Tonye, I just know his style changed, started looking fresh, started looking handsome. Like, he was looking good, sha, but he did his thing very well. He was also somebody that had like big dreams, like IT wise. He was like an IT guy. So he had like his own thing going for him. And he was somebody that at times in him and Tonye's relationship, he felt like Tonye was ashamed of him, or Tonye was always talking down at him. But they got to understand themselves and they got to address their issues. Then we also get to see Ishaya, who is played by Shamz Garuba. So he was wealthy, smart guy who later became Tamara's love interest in this movie. And of course, he's a younger guy. So that whole dynamic of them dating, of, their whole thing was just something that Tamara was not comfortable with. Like, she just felt like she was doing something wrong essentially. But Ishaya was a very intentional guy. He expressed himself very, very well. And he made his intentions clear to Tamara about, how he feels, and he just wanted them to see where things go. And he was very, very, interested in trying to get to know her. We also get to see some other faces like their cousins. So Tamara and Tonye's cousins, can't remember their name, but they were always, coming through to advise them, to check in on them, to settle their differences, and just come and spend time with them essentially. They were just like a good support system, and I love their banter. And then you of course get to see their mom. What's her name? But their mom was a very, very difficult woman. She was a very difficult woman to live with. She was a very difficult woman to have around. And she at a point came to visit the girl. So the issue with the mother was like the dad was very abusive, and the mother was somebody that she didn't walk away. She didn't try to like choose herself. She more or less stayed in that situation and allowed the dad do all he did to her. And it was just something that affected the girls growing up and sort of strained their relationship with her, because she was a very difficult and hard mother. She wasn't supportive. She wasn't there when they needed her. We also get to see some of Tonye's colleagues at the office, like the guys in her team, as well as the CEO of the company and the COO, and some other faces. I enjoyed everybody's performance in this series. They told a very interesting story, although it is very short, but it is straight to the point, very simple, but it was quite crazy, hectic. The ride that the movie kept taking us on, just from one thing to the other, from one thing to the other. It's like we can't catch a break with these people. There were a lot of shocking revelations, a lot of shocking reveals. There was the whole thing with deception, with secrets, of course, and lies. So some of the themes I could pick up on in the movie. But when we had the theme of sisterhood, which is of course the bond these two sisters shared, they were like inseparable. They were like so tight. And when the strain started coming into a relationship was when secrets started being kept, and from then on lies started coming into the picture. So these two sisters could not just be as they were. So like that started to affect their relationship, but they were able to resolve it. Then we also get to see that the repercussions of abuse, with their mom being in an abusive marriage, like, and how that affected the children, their resentment towards the mother, their resentment towards the father, and how they just saw the mother like a very mean person, as a woman that did not have a backbone, and she did not want to do anything for herself essentially. They just had this love and hate relationship for her. And also with Tamara's marriage and the whole abuse from the husband and everything that she was dealing with. Then of course the whole age gap, this age gap in relationship, which we get to see in Ishaya and Tamara's relationship, of course. Then of course the whole work romance, office romance thing. Like, what is your take on having relationships or dating your colleague at the office? So of course in the whole thing with Alex, and the secret behind Alex, and Tamara now talking to Alex and starting to catch feelings for Alex. So it just felt in a strange way, it felt like she had betrayed her sister, or she was talking to her sister's man. Like, strangely it seemed that way. Like, we know Alex wasn't the person she was talking to. Do you understand? Like, that was just a profile. But it just felt like there was just something wrong about Tamara talking to Alex without telling Tonye about it. So it's just a very crazy movie. Like, there's just a lot going on in it. A very interesting storyline, of course. Like, I enjoyed the storytelling and enjoyed like all the plot twists and the drama that this movie will take you on. So if you've watched Alex from Oil and Gas, let me hear your thoughts. Then of course the whole thing with online dating, which was what started up the whole Tonye and Alex relationship in the first place. Like, what is your take on it? Like, are you for or against? And do you actually think like people are genuine with their profiles when they go into these dating platforms? Then yeah, so that is it for the movie Alex from Oil and Gas. It's a very fun, dramatic movie. If you're curious to see like how things play out exactly, what happens, like the drama and everything, go check out. This movie is streaming on Showmax. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, please smash that like button. Check out my other videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.